Now, I want to switch back over because I want to show you just how it ranked within the class and what his matrix looks like. Now, if you're not familiar with the matrix, this is a little bit different. This is not mock draftable, which is just raw scores, same as RAS. This is the actual applied mathematical algorithms that tell you what the functional strengths, minuses, whatever are on the field. And so you see his best score in here came out at 98.88 in the deep range. This kid can turn and run. Yep. And that's the difference. I'm going to show you Khalifa Lassi here in a second. That's the difference in terms of like the physical makeup. He's great on the explosive range. That's the area between 20 yards and 40 yards as well. Mm-hmm. Then you get into the short area quickness, which is a great score as well. It's not quite as elite as those two deep metrics are. And then you get into the explosion, meaning the leaping ability and the first step, as well as the overall. He came out 16 overall in the matrix for the corners, and that is solid. That's better than Watson. It's better than Williams in their respective classes, and it's right up there behind some of the guys that are on rosters contributing across the league. So that's what he looks like. I don't see any problem with that game. Does anything worry about you in the initial, say, 5 yards of his defense?
It's just the, are you going to get stopped because you're trying to press somebody and you miss your hands? Like, if he gets caught with his feet forward, he's going to get blown by. But he has the recovery speed, like you said, to catch back up. It's the more of the problem is if a quarterback sees that and he sees those feet inching forward, guess where the ball's going? It's going over his head, most likely. So that's getting to understand the feel for the position in the first 5 yards is the big area for him if he wants to end up being a starter at some point. But right now, he's in a good spot because he's got two guys in front of him that had to do it last year with Williams and Watson, and they did it very well. But this is just going to be another guy to add to that cupboard that you can continue to churn out hopeful players to start, and then you can kind of throw Nick Joneses, the Trent McDuffies of the world, the possible Darius Needs in the slot if you have to, and just kind of live that way.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Phil, we appreciate you, buddy. You are as well, and we're glad that you're here. Guys, we will take some of your questions. I know you're in there. If you want to super chat, that's the best way to get a question tonight because we're just trying to go through the information, but we will take some questions here in a bit. Pointing out here, unlike Halassi, who we're going to see in a second on this same kind of his profile, it's the hawk rate that stands out for Darius Rush. He gets his hands on passes, whether it's PBUs and interceptions. That's what the hawk rate really represents versus the total times you're targeted. Whereas Eagle metric is partially that, but it's also how you come downhill and make tackles for loss, how you attack screens, how you get forced fumbles, the other things that you can contribute even as a corner that go to the overall defensive grade. That's a little bit lower there. So he really is good with the ball in the air, and that's what we're looking for. 17th in missed tackles in this class. That can improve. That certainly is part of the evaluation as well. But let me flip over because I do want to share one of our longtime viewers, and Whiskey Bravo asked the question, and Whiskey, thanks for the contribution and your super chat. We appreciate you. Why waive Halassi just to bring in Rush? Do the draft matrix comparison. That's exactly what I'm doing for you, buddy. Is it a better fit, or is there hope to bring Halassi back? Halassi also got picked up. Yeah. He is claimed he is on a 53 in this league. So for those of you who thought I was a little bit crazy for thinking the guy could make a roster, well, he did. It just wasn't the Chiefs. But hey, that's okay. So Whiskey, I'm gonna hide your comment just for a minute, just so we can get the full screen. But I thank you, and I will come back to you momentarily because if we switch over to Halassi, what you get to see is the opposite, what his profile looks like. And so here, if I just go back and forth, you can see the difference of the spider graph here and how the overall athletic matrix is drastically lower. You can see it's only a 93 versus a 95.5 plus. That's a significant difference in this metric. And you can also see how the explosiveness is also the weakest of his grades at 40th within this class. That's why he's an instinctual player. That's why he was better playing off. And that's why he was able to make some of those plays because he had to come from depth. Now, his short area quickness is actually a little bit better than Rush's. If we go back, Rush was at 16. Halassi was at 6. But that's the only athletic matrix measurement where he was actually better than Rush. In the production, what you see is the yards per completion is in the top 10 in this class for Halassi. Obviously, that was not the case for Rush, but the hawk rate was. We come back to Halassi, and his was the eagle rate. What that tells you is that he played better closer to the line of scrimmage. He's able to attack screens, come downhill, and make forced fumbles, a little bit better than what Rush was. Rush is more of a cover guy. And I'm perfectly comfortable with that, Dan. Are you?
I am. And I think that that's really what this team does. They want to play a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage, and they want to turn and run with bigger receivers downfield. And I just want to address this really quickly because it can be a little confusing sometimes. So if you just go to his statistics, you know, he had 3 total interceptions in college. He had 3 total. Like that's, and then you look at his pass breakups, and he had 15 in 2 years. That's what this is. It's not so much that he can't necessarily find the ball. He plays the ball in a receiver's hand well. He times, the swipes well. He can get there. Because he has that recovery speed. He can kind of sit in that hip pocket, wait for the receiver to flash the hands, and slap at it, find the ball as it's coming this way. But when he's got to turn and look for it to intercept it, that's where he loses the football. It's the tracking aspect of playing corner that when I say he can't find the ball, it means he has trouble tracking it over his shoulder wherever he is. But he's very good at finding that catch point and breaking up passes that way. So that's just to kind of clear that up a little bit.